Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather. If you're new here, I'm Dave. This is Olive, where we mostly talk about books, but now some other things too. But today we're talking about books. So recently we went to a little mini library fair, and we got some few things there, and we did a video on that. But I mentioned that we had some other recent acquisitions that we wanted to talk to you about. So I'm realizing going through them, not all so recent. These are like we've accumulated things over little by little over like the last 6 months that we haven't shown you guys yet. So I think this is almost 6 months worth of just random acquisitions from different places. And, we don't buy a lot of new books anymore because we got such a backlog, but we love book hunting. So we go to all these different sources of cheap or free, or usually not free, but very inexpensive books. So we're going to go through it by category. So it actually got a whole big pile here. So we're going to jump right into it. So first one is the one we've been sitting on the longest here that we haven't shown you is The Tyranny of the Minority. So this is a nonfiction, obviously. This is by Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt, whatever. So these are, I guess, Harvard or Yale professors. And this book we actually got for free. This was sent to us by Penguin because they published a book called How Democracies Die that we reviewed a while back, maybe in the summer. And after seeing that, they saw that video and they asked if they could send us this one to review. So, which I'm hoping we're going to get to read soon. So we're pretty excited about that. Tyranny of the Majority. So it's, another one of these ones particularly relevant today. It's about how minorities in the parties end up, it's kind of a flaw in our politics today where you actually have the majority of the people are kind of overruled by these majorities in individual parties, minorities in individual parties. So, okay, I didn't explain that very well, but that's the best I'm going to do. So then the next few are I have a daughter that's in publishing and has worked at 2 different publishing houses. And so she has been able to get me some things very inexpensively. I recently did a video on some comic compendiums that she was able to get for us. But I also had her get a few books for us recently, which we were able to get very, very discounted. So we have a couple Penguin classics. First one is The Last Man by Mary Shelley. So this is one that I've been jonesing to read for a while because we recently started getting into, again, these apocalyptic. We recently read Earth Abides, which is one of those post-apocalyptic, follows a guy that's trying to survive and the communities that can come out of that. And so this is the same sort of thing, but it's a lot older. Okay, the next one is The Monk by Matthew Lewis. Another Penguin classic. This is another classic novel, and this is, I don't know too much about it, but it sounded interesting. It's about, I guess it's supposed to be the exploration of, sort of not being able to uphold certain moral standards and falling victim to, moral turpitude, I guess. And so this follows someone that a female slips in to this male monastery, like disguised as a boy, and so he ends up like having something go on with her, and that starts his like gradual decline into just like different aspects of debauchery and violence, etc. So it sounded pretty interesting. Okay, another one that we were able to get through our daughter was nonfiction. This is On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. So this one, as you can see, this is a very small book, and this is by a professor who I think has now moved out of the U.S. Based on things that are going on in the U.S. now. But he wrote this. This is kind of, it's 20 lessons from the 20th century. So this is kind of lessons that were learned or should have been learned from in our encounters with fascism and Nazism back in the day. And so he kind of goes through the different lessons to be gleaned from those experiences and the types of things you should be watching out for. I haven't read any of these. These are just based on my very minimal knowledge of them. Another one I was able to get to my daughter is The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. and this is, you know, an old famous. This is like it's like a metaphysical work. It's a meditation on suicide, basically. So, okay, I had to go through them quick because there's a lot here. So, also through my daughter from a different place. This pretty cool. This is called The Deading by Nicholas Ballardis, and this pretty recent book. This is, when was this? This was 2024. And this is like an environmental horror. So it's like this town, and there's this like wave of, I think they're like sea snails that come in and invade the town, and they start affecting everything. I think like plant life, animal life, and eventually people. And then the people, I think they basically die, and then they come back. You know, so they're like, and then they're targeting the people that aren't deading. You know, this sort of, I mean, like pseudo dying, I guess, or something. I don't really know exactly. Called the Risers. Yeah, the Risers, targeting those who are not deading. And as the people come back different, obviously. And so I think it follows this cast of characters that were not deading, that are trying to, and the town is isolated, you know, by the government, it's quarantined by the government, and yada yada. So it sounded pretty interesting. It sounded kind of unusual. And then the last one through my daughter was, she got us this, Tatum Talks. Tatum Comes Home. So I don't know how many of you know Tatum. So Tatum is really big on Instagram, and I guess TikTok, probably TikTok too. I don't know. I don't have TikTok, but he is a so he's a dog. He was adopted by his mom and dad, and he's very active on Instagram. There's a lot of reels of him doing different funny stuff, and his dad just does his voice like so well. It's one of those ones like you forget like that it's his dad behind the scene. It seems like it's Tatum all the time, and they do a lot of really, really funny stuff. My whole family loves Tatum. We're always watching Tatum. What is it? My name is Tatum, I think is the Instagram handle. I'll put it in the description below for any of you that don't know Tatum but want to check him out. He's awesome. Okay. Now moving on to Little Free Libraries. So we have a couple acquisitions from Little Free Libraries. The first one is the Secret Book and Scone Society. So we picked this up. We have a few Little Free Libraries near us that I pass all the time when Olive and her sister and I are going for walks. And so this is a relatively recent book. This is, let's see, this was 2017. So this, as you can see, I found a Little Free Library, but it's signed by the author, Ellery Adams. I don't know if you could see that. So that was a nice find. And this is, I don't know too much about it, but it's just like, it's hard for book lovers to pass up books about books, right? I assume a lot of you have the same issue. And so it looks like a cozy murder mystery thing. Like, I guess there's this woman and she has a bookshop, and her thing is like she finds the right book for everybody, and she has a customer that she does that for, and then the customer turns up dead. And so they form this little society to do this investigating, but they all have their dark secrets about why they came to this town. I don't know. So that's all I know about it. I drop them all. Still, with Little Free Libraries, another book about books. The Book of Hidden Wonders by Polly Crosby. This is an advanced reader copy. I love it when I find ARCs. Nice to find it in a Little Free Library. And this is 2020. And this is about, I think this is like a girl and her dad. The dad writes a book, and the book, that's the washing machine going off. So this is about easy, just the washing machine. So this is about and so the dad writes, so this girl and her dad, and the dad writes a book, and the book takes off and becomes really popular, and so then he starts writing a lot of other books, but then all the books have like a lot of clues in them, and I don't know if she gets distance from him or something, and then ends up trying to follow all these clues in the books. And what's the matter, Riley? Olive's sister's in here too, so I don't know. Here, you guys want a little? Here, you want a little treat? There you go. Okay. All right. Now moving on to Goodwill. We have a few Goodwills around us, and so we got a few from there. A couple different trips. So we pop in now and then. So here is Before the Golden Age, book 3. So this is by Isaac Asimov. So this is a collection of science fiction stories edited by Isaac Asimov, and they're not by Isaac Asimov. They're by different writers, and he just put this collection together. So of course we're never going to pass up something like that. And this is next one is The Master by Colm. I forget how to pronounce his name. Toybin. And so I know almost nothing about this book. This is about it's about a writer who's like, I don't know. I think it's back in history. It's like about a writer it's fiction, but it's about a writer who's like one of the first like rich families in America or something like that. And it's explores his difficulties with love and relationships, I think. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. The reason I picked it up was because I've read a couple things by him. Guys. Okay, I think everybody settled down now. So we read. So I read The Testament of Mary, and another one which was a short one, and another one called House of Names, which is a normal sized book, which was like a. Testament of Mary was about another take on Jesus' mother Mary, and there was House of Names, which was like a Greek retelling. Really enjoyed them both, and I've wanted to read more by him, but just haven't for a while. So anyway, I saw this and picked it up. Looked interesting. Okay, and then different Goodwill trip. We got this, Cersei by Madeline Miller. So this is another one of those Greek retellings that came out in this little wave of Greek retellings in the last couple of years. This one was heard a lot about this book. This is in 2018, so this is supposed to be great, but I don't know too much of the specifics. But anyway, it's supposed to be really good. A lot of people have loved it, so we picked it up. And the last Goodwill one was this, Aaron Beauregard's Playground. Now, I had seen people talk about this on BookTube and was interested. I did not expect to see this. I think it's not like a very common book, but so I was pleasantly surprised to see it there. Maybe it's more common than I thought. And this is a horror novel, as you can tell from the cover. And this is about you have like these I guess different group of different challenged kids that go to test out some different playground rides, or what is it? Yeah, different playground equipment that had been designed. This woman designed, and so she has these different children, but they're not actually in parks or amusement parks or anything like that. They're hidden away, and she has these kids come to test them out. So it's apparently pretty graphic and pretty horror-y. Okay, and then the last one was, this is just one that I just tracked down on eBay and bought because I want to read it now, and this is Darkness at Noon by Arthur Koestler. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So this is a famous novel that is about, it's another one of these novels about where totalitarianism has taken over the society, and it's about a guy that was one of the original people that started that totalitarian state and is now a victim of it. I think it's mostly him being in prison or whatever. And but I didn't really know of this book until not that long ago. So supposedly it's one of the best, most classic books on this topic. So I'm pretty excited. So I tracked it down, and I'm pretty excited to read it. I'm going to read it soon. This will be one of the next few books that we read. So okay, that does it. That was like 13, 14 books there that we've just been stacking up, saving for you guys. So so let us know if you've read any of these. Let us know if you want to buddy read any of these. Horror Mayhem's coming up. We're gonna be pretty busy with Horror Mayhem, with horror stuff. We already have a few buddy reads going in that, but let us know if you want to read any of this stuff with us. We're always happy to do that. We do enjoy buddy reads or group reads. So let us know if you have any comments about any of these books, if you've read them. If you don't have anything substantive to say, you can always leave Olive a puppy emoji, right? Because she does always like to see those. Right, Olive? All right? So, okay, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.